Assalamu alaikum dear students, this is Kamar Sumaira from the Department of English, University of Southern Punjab, Multan. So in this week we are here for another interesting topic that starts or that takes you from your reading skills towards your writing process. Now, as you know, the name of your subject is academic writing. So officially we are moving towards learning the tips of academic writing, how to improve and what the things we can use to improve our writing. So our today's topic of discussion contains the process of writing, the use of contextual links in our writing to make it comprehensible for the reader, and types of writing document. Well, this complete one title is of your combination of the two lectures as my lecture number 7 and lecture number 8 for your week number 4. So what are the main things that you call as process of writing? So before moving on towards writing, let's recall what we have done for reading skills. It is important to connect your reading with writing for the reason we all have something in our mind whenever we read some document. So collecting our ideas from our mind and putting it down onto the paper, that develops a connection between our reading and writing process. In advanced academia, writing is rarely linear. It is a recursive cycle that contains your pre-writing stage to your actual writing stage. So it has certain processes of its development. You know, the very first process, we will be doing it in our upcoming lectures in detail, what is the actual process and how to practice this one process or how to practice this one process in our writing, for writing a paragraph, for writing an essay, argumentative, descriptive, comparing and contrast, whatever we have discussed earlier. So how to collect all our ideas together accordingly for writing that document now. Now, becoming from a reader to a writer, the technical thing to remember is that now you are the formulator of your document. You are the writer of your document. So make it more comprehensible for the readers as much as you can. So making it to develop from pre-writing, that is beyond your brainstorming idea, that means you just identify yourself that on which topic that means selection of your topic towards developing the thoughts about the topic, that is your brainstorming. Then from brainstorming to move on towards developing an outline. And then from developing an outline to developing your document itself in actual writing. And then how to proofread yourself or how to be a proofreader of your document by yourself, or you hire some other person. Hire means you ask some other person to read your document for any error, for any erroneous kind of statements if you have written, or for improving the ideas far better than what you have writing without damaging your original idea. And then definitely finalizing your document as you want it to be. So these are the certain stages through which our writing went or goes on. So beyond brainstorming, it includes the annotated bibliographies and mapping conceptual gaps. What are annotated bibliographies? That means you are going to referring all those documents which you have referred. It is all depends on your academic writing for the reason that you need to adopt some kind of reference style, which could be APA, which could be MLA, which we are going to study in our term paper and research writing techniques, or might be with me in our upcoming lectures too. After doing that, brainstorming, the next step is drafting your document. That needs the focus on flow and argument rather than mechanics. So it means now draft is your rough plan on a paper that what you want to write. And before editing, that drafting goes on towards your, definitely towards your writing stage, because drafting is actual writing, but it is not your what we call the clear writing or the improved writing draft that you want others to read. So drafting is somehow a rough writing draft in front of you, which focuses on the flow and the argumentation you have provided for your reader. After writing your document, what you need to revise or add it. What is revision? It is a global reordering section. So global reordering section means you always globally relate your all information, that what was the previous one and what I am going to relate according to the topic requirement. It also strengthens the thesis or the thesis statement, whatever you have given to the reader. Editing does mean the local changes of the sentence structure or the choice of the word or words according to your own level and your reader's perception, and the use of grammar according to your reader's perspective. The last but not the least one was your peer review and feedback stage. That means feedback loops. It is the integrating external critique to validate logical leaps. It does mean you give your document to some other person, that is what we are calling, or I already told you, you hire some other person or you ask some other person to validate or to review your document to establish what are the other things that might be included, or that might be synonymous terms could be used in place of one word to another if something is repeating in its ideology or in its form. The last but not the least one are the use of contextual links for our today's lecture discussion. Beta contextual links are all those connected items in our writing that connects our ideas from one statement to another. And we have already done it in our previous lecture, that what are different contextual links in terms of transitional phrases. These contextual links in advanced writing requires meta discourse, which means signaling to the reader how ideas are connected in your document. For example, I give an example of a contextual link. Author A develops some statement to author A's A and B's statement both argue it. So it means you have written it as a writer A. A statement could be, like for example, the writing skills could be improved while improving your reading skills. If this is one statement, how the person B argues the same point of view as per you. So it means compare the two person statements with one another. This is what the beauty of your document, when you are referencing one person's idea with another one. That's why we need literature review as well. And then, though they are different in other descriptions, I mean both the arguments would be different. Some person A's statement could be different from person B. That's why I'm saying compare and contrast. Take the both point of views. But mostly we take the comparisons rather than the contrasts. Then we use some of the devices which we call cohesive devices or cohesion to be created, and the way coherence is created in our document. What is cohesion? Cohesion is using lexical chains and transitional phrases. For example, the words furthermore, conversely, by extension. These are the words which must be grammatically and lexically coherent. Now, I have used the two terms grammatically and lexically coherent. Grammatical means the words must be grammatically coherent with each other, with whatever you are writing. For example, when we use she is writing a letter. So, all the words in this sentence are cohesive, are coherent. So, how we take it? Like grammatically they are all connected. She, being the third person singular pronoun, takes the singular noun, singular verb after it, and that singular verb, if it is, am, it will take ing form of verb after it. That is a lexical verb. So, grammatical and lexical coherence is important whenever you are writing your document. That means it should be grammatically correct, ideally. What is coherence? It is ensuring the old to new information flow and order the data to show its organization. and this is achieved through signposting. Now, what is signposting? It is using the maps, and this section will first analyze before turning to guide the reader through complex arguments. So, signposting refers to words, phrases, or sentences that are used in writing and presentations to guide the audience through the structure. Argument and key points of the content are important to validate your coherent idea. So it acts like a roadmap, like the signals on a road. So signaling transitions between ideas are important for which reason? For the reason that they are there to guide their readers and the writer to write what point next in the document. So all the arguments, all the descriptions, or the comparing and contrast kind of documents would have their own kinds of signpost. So that signposting means all of them would have their own cohesive devices. Now these cohesive devices are commonly the conjunctions or the conjunctional phrases, or might be they would be the adverbial phrases. The common signposting examples could be sequencing and ordering ideas. For example, firstly, secondly, finally, to begin with, next, afterwards, lastly. As a conclusion, I will outline introducing new points, adding new information. So it means all of these points would be there that will add something new. Adding new points provide you some new information, additional information. And this would be achieved through the transitional phrases like moreover, additionally, collectively, not only but also. And for the comparisons and contrast, we all know in contrast to the previous one and all other points of the same kind, when the signposts are there to tell you that to which kind of one direction the writer is going on. Comparing or contrasting. So these are the signals in our writing that tells the reader that writer wants what to convey to them, and in which definitely sequence. And in all these examples of our transitional phrases from first, moreover, furthermore, to the last, lastly, as a conclusion, these are all our signposting words. So if all of them are there, definitely they will guide the reader to find out the main crust of our writing. These are very much important to develop our cohesiveness, to develop our coherence. So we all must be known to the conjunctions, conjunctional phrases, and for sure the adverbial phrases for their correct use in our writing. For the reason our academic writing is more authentic and becomes more authentic and becomes more clear to our readers. And other contrastive ideas could include, however, nevertheless, despite of it, on the other hand, in contrast. All of them are not only the signals for our reading, but also it guides our readers. This is all about our today's discussion about what are the cohesive devices and how a writer should use it in his writing for creating coherence and cohesiveness. In our next lecture, definitely we will be finalizing this week's lecture. Till that time, thank you so much. Stay blessed. Have a nice day.